I appreciate that the work that you do and how you're able to show up. You touched on as well about, same as Callum and a lot of what people have said when it comes to physical health and fitness and keeping your eye on that. As we touched on before, you never know what somebody's going through. And, somebody who shines out for me when we speak about physical fitness, we've got the man in the room, David, or Dave. Has anyone called you David in a while?
I've been called worse, so I'm happy with either. Yeah.
So sorry about that. You're not in trouble. But when we speak about physical health and fitness, you guys did I took part in an activity, or activity is probably a nicer word, but the 25-hour marathon for the starting line. And that grew from, that's about one of the biggest physical challenges that I've ever done, and it was run by you, and you've done many before that. I'd love to hear your journey of how it got to you literally volunteering to be in those rooms for 25 hours, showing up, whether you've got shit going on, whether you've got your job working out, where you've got your business working out, you've got your own podcast. Touch on all of those things where you can of, what shaped the man of Dave being in this room, smiling at us today, even through all the challenges.
My story's long. Look, I was brought up in New Zealand. I saw poverty, domestic violence, drugs, alcohol. I lost my mum through suicide. I found her at the age of 14 and was pretty much left to my own devices and having to look after my younger sister. But I've had highs and lows my whole life. And still face them today with mental health. If there's anyone that knows mental health, I believe I know it inside and out. And that's why I called my podcast fucking real, because I believe mental health is fucking real. I reckon suicide is fucking real, and I reckon it's the fucking real conversations we've got to have around it, a little bit like yourself. And then I guess like just having that podcast that was designed to inspire better mental health and also open the doors to what everyone else is doing in the community, and to shine light on that, because as we all know, mental health can feel like you're just wandering around aimlessly in a dark room. So it was just to shine light on all the different areas to help navigate through. And this is where the charity come up. It was halfway through a podcast, and we kept talking about what it was like and to go through mental health, and we kept talking about like you just got to get to the starting line. And it came up in a few different conversations. Actually, Jake and Graydon were on the same podcast, and on the podcast, I said, you know what, I'm going to go and start a charity called The Starting Line. So it's recorded. And that was just over a year ago. And a part of that charity was to run 25-hour, marathons within the gym. We set up a circuit, and we find some crazy people who I can convince to do it alongside me. Because for me, it just resembles mental health, Yeah, I've done heaps of them, and every time I feel like closing the doors, and I'll never do one again because it's fucking real. We all talk about connection and community, and one of the biggest things to navigate mental health is community, and what gets you through that 25 hours is the people there, like Becky, when you were there doing dances and having your personality there, when it felt like you're in the trenches, you'd come along and with your big smile, and next minute you're right and you're back on the track again. And so that's me in a nutshell. It all just stems from my upbringing, and I don't know if it's out of choice what I do. It's more that I've just got a big heart, and I understand mental health, and I just want to help people.
So something that sticks out for my journey with you, and what brings me into our next guest that I'm going to ask is, you started the starting line, and something that you guys do is you go out onto the street and literally with some of the money that you take on board, you give it to somebody who needs it, like right there and then.
I do it all the time. I mean, I was doing it before the charity, but now that I can do it with other people's donations, makes it a little bit more easier. But, just to give you an example, last week there's this young couple. I mean, they would have been in, late teens, and they got this little baby girl, and and I just feel for them. And every time I'll drive past them, and then I'll go, nah, fuck, I've got to go back. So I'll do a U-turn, and I'll go back, and I'll get talking to them. But then I'll take them into like the local IGA, and buy them formula and nappies, and just trying to, it doesn't solve the problem, but it just lets them know that there is some support out there. and that people do actually care. Yeah, and I actually feel quite honoured to do it because I know the hard work that people support me with my charity and things like that. You know, so I do it with great pride to be able to help those out as well.
You speak into that so well, and the reason why I asked you that question is because Zoe, who we've got coming on now,